Hi, this is Kendra from Pencil and Pigment, and today I wanted to talk about pastel blending. So I have here 300 gram cold press Arches paper, and I have my Richardson hand rolled pastels. Now, I started once previously with this video. I love my neighbors so much. Okay, so I just wanted to show that even if you are doing a no-buy like myself, you may have items you didn't consider that could be used for blending. Pastels, chalk pastels, chalks, charcoals, graphite. You have a lot more things around your house than you maybe realize. And so I'm going to show you everything I found in mine, and we're going to see what the things look like. So here I am just blending with a pastel. On this one, I took a pastel pencil and sort of blended it this way to show you what that looks like. So you can use pencil for chalk pencil for blending. Here here's a paper stump I own, but you can make your own. And here is how this blends. Okay. The next one is a tortillon, and those are much smaller, and these are the ones that are easier to make, and if we have time in this video I will show you how to make one of those. So here I am blending these beautiful rich colors together with a tortillon. You can use a paintbrush. Here is a 3/8 wash, and you can blend pastels together with a paintbrush. Okay. You can use a makeup brush. Now, I don't wear makeup. I don't know what brush this is. I will do my best to link everything in the description box, but this is absolutely something. A brush is a brush is a brush. They all just sort of perform and work differently. So you can blend using makeup brushes if you want to experiment and try different things. Now, this next row, let's see if I can get there. Now here is a really soft makeup brush. We face paint, and this one is getting donated to the art cause, but you can use these type of sponges, these makeup sponges. These are really great for especially pan pastels. So you can blend with these. Now I have another style. I have one that's much more dense, and I am pushing as hard as I can. And I'm assuming these can be purchased online on Amazon, but again, if you're doing a no-buy, a sponge is a sponge. So look at your kitchen sponges. Look at what kind of stuff you own for those, for cleaning. And this is how a more firm sponge blends. I have a piece of bathroom tissue, and I have just folded it to strengthen it so I can do more precise blending, but you want to be really, really delicate when you blend with tissue so you don't rip the tissue. But you can blend with tissue. Any face cloth you own. And again, I'm just kind of folding it so I have a more precise corner. You can blend with face cloth and just experiment. Just put two colors side by side and just practice blending. See what you enjoy using, see what you don't enjoy using. I have finger. This is probably one of the most common ones. This is how I enjoy blending. The next one is a finger caught. Now I thought, you know, a lot of people probably don't own those, but if you have a kitchen gloves, if you have a one-off, if you have one that's torn and you have new ones, you can cut the fingers off and you can make a finger caught, and you can blend with one of those from an old kitchen dishwashing glove. And that blends really nicely too, and it saves your finger and skin if you don't want to get the pigment all over your hands. Okay. The next one, this is a chamois. You may or may not own this in your house. These are great for charcoal blending, and you can use them for pastels. It feels very suede-like. Any fabric scraps, if you have a sewing room, you can experiment with different fabrics and textures for blending. I have a magic eraser, and this can be cut to any size and shape you want, but you can blend with a magic eraser. Spatula. Now, a spatula works because a lot of them are silicone. It works a lot like a pastel shaper or a sculpting shaper. If you don't have those, don't own those. If you have old spatulas or a thrift store, if you're doing a low buy and you want to pick up one, and you can cut these to the shapes you want and need, but you can also blend with these as well. And this is one of my favorites. And I'm always apologizing to my husband for using spatulas for blending, but I love them so much because of the silicone. It's very, very nice. All right, this next one. You know those furniture pads you stick on the bottom of the table legs and feet to protect your wooden floors? Well, I purchased a set that came with huge ones that you can custom cut. So I just sort of bend it, and you can use it for blending. Anything can be used for blending. Now, I have a kneaded eraser you can use for blending. I have pre-used Q-tips from a different project. You can use Q-tips for blending. I really like blending out with Q-tips. It's very, very nice. And if you want to make a pastel shaper, I have an old jam jar and one of our kitchen sink mesh strainers, and this fits down in the hole of our kitchen sink. And you can take your pastel, if you have a wire brush, check your toolbox. And you kind of want to rub it. Let's see if we can get this on camera here. If you want to get an edge, if you want to shape this into a point, if you want to do more fine detailed work, and I'm doing this in a jar for a reason. So you can shape your pastel. I don't know if you can see that. It's starting to form a larger point, and then you can do more fine tipped detail work. You can take your paper, you can take some of this loose stuff, dip it on a brush, and you can keep using it for really cool background ideas. So you don't have to buy a pastel shaper. I just showed you how you can make your own. The other thing you can make is your own tortillon. So I took a piece of Strathmore's 400, and it's in a rectangle, and I have sort of a notch cut. And I'm going to take a pair of scissors, and I'm going to run it, because this is going to help pre-curl it. And when you make your own tortillons, you want to get this as finely rolled as possible. The other material you can use for making your own shaper or thing is sandpaper. So if you have sandpaper, let's see, I'm making a pretty loose one because of time constraints, but you roll it up. I will link to a better video of somebody doing this. You shape it with the tip with an X-Acto knife, tape it, and then you rub it on some sandpaper to get a fine point. This also works. Sandpaper works for shaping and creating edges if you want a very specific fine point with your pastel. So I hope all these blending techniques worked. You can also use a palette knife If you want very fine tip blending, you can put your towel around a palette knife and blend that way. Now, if you don't own a palette knife, butter knife. And experiment with different cleaning rags, different materials with blending, and you can get finer tip edges using things like this. I hope this was informative. I hope this helped with your blending ideas. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.